Hello. How do you deal with the grief of healing your own self-hate? How? Hi, I'm Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind. So the question of the day is, how do you deal with the grief of healing your own self-hate? For the past few days, we've been coming to grips with the reality that we do experience self-hate. And after we got past the denial, we had to admit that most of us harbor some deep-seated judgment against ourselves. It's often referred to as self-hate. Though we claim to like ourselves, sometimes we find that there are parts of ourselves that we don't like, and maybe even a couple of parts of ourselves that we actually hate. So if we take a good look at our lives, we can spot those. We can spot where we are dissatisfied with ourselves. We can spot where we're dissatisfied with the way we live. So, over the past few days, we've gone to work to heal the problem of self-hatred. We began to examine our lives. We spotted those problem areas, and we began to stand up for the way we see the world. We broke away from the restrictions of the tribe. We faced the shame, the anger, and the guilt associated with breaking away, and then we learned how to forgive. We forgave those who tried to hold us back, and we forgave ourselves. So, problem solved, right? Everything is better. Probably not. Please, click on the thumbs up button below the screen, the video, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. Remember, I would love to hear your thoughts, your comments, and your questions. So please use the chat box on the right side of the screen, or if you're looking at this in replay, use the comment section below. Okay, so back to where we were. So now we've done this this forgiving ourselves. We've taken care of this self-hate, and now we've got a big hole to deal with. We have moved out of the restricted world of the tribal power. Let me bring that up. Into being an individual, our own individual power. And we continue to work because we're going to move towards symbolic power, which I also refer to as spiritual power. So here we are. We've done some work. We got the spiritual power, and there's a hole. Why is there a hole? Well, what we're experiencing is something called grief. We've moved away from our old friends, so we've got a space where our old friends were, and we've moved away from something that was pretty important to us, which was our self-hate. So we moved away from the tribe, and remember, the tribe was always there to protect us from our own thoughts. And the self-hate gave us something to complain about when things get wrong. It was always there for us to use when we wanted to beat ourselves up. You know, if it wasn't for this or that in my past, then this wouldn't have happened. You know, we always had that to go by. But now, we've been doing the work, and it's gone. What do we do now? Well, what we're experiencing is called grief. And grief is a natural part of loss. When we lose something, even when we wanted to, we feel grief. That's because we're actually energetically connected to whatever it was that we were part of. Some mystical teachings say that we are connected by cords, what they call cords, which are little filaments of energy that link us one to another, that link us to things, little filaments of energy. And once something is taken out of our lives, snatched out of our lives, either through tragedy or through our own work, as we're doing here, then what happens is the cord gets broken. And then you feel like there's something missing. Well, the truth is, there is something missing. Eventually that feeling will go away, because the cord will eventually die and drop away. But until it does, we feel what is known as grief. Now, because of the groundbreaking work done by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, let me show you that. In her famous book, Death and Dying, we know now that there is a process that occurs when you lose something. Actually, a model was created to cover what people go through when there's a change or a loss in their life. It's called the Kubler-Ross model. Let me show you that. Now, this model involves 7 steps: shock, denial, frustration, depression, experiment, decision, and integration. Shock, denial, frustration, depression, experiment, decision, and integration. So what happens? What happens in this process? Well, first you experience shock. Your body and your aura go into a state of shock because the cords have been broken. So there's a sense that something is missing because something is. It doesn't feel good, but there's nothing that you can take to fix it. You have to go through it. Now that feeling can last a few days, can last a few weeks, it can even last for months. But all you can do is keep up with your spiritual practice to get through it. And the more you work in your spiritual practice, the faster you will get through it. The next step is denial. Now, denial is you're dealing with a subtle mental searching to see if it's still there, hiding somewhere. You know, that self-hate that you used to rely on to fall back on as a crutch, to beat yourself up with. It's got to be there somewhere. Even though it's not where it used to be, it's got to be there somewhere. But finally, you recognize that it's actually gone. It's actually gone. Then comes frustration. What am I going to do now? How can it be replaced? You find yourself in a state of irritability. You're on a short fuse, and you blow up at the least provocation. You can't stand being around other people, and you can't even stand to be around yourself. This is frustration. But continue your spiritual work, and you're going to get through that. And that will move you into a state of depression. Depression and regret. You know you did the right thing, but why does it feel so wrong? Don't worry. It's part of the process. It's all part of the process. You can move past this depression if you want to. Actually, you can stay there if you choose to, but it's not a pleasant place to stay. So here you find yourself being indifferent to the world around you. You may become reclusive, like a hermit, and push others away. And you might have zero excitement towards anything in life. But if you continue your spiritual practice, in spite of the way you feel, it will eventually fade. The next phase is experimentation. Experimentation is like trying on a new outfit. You begin exploring your feelings as you go through your day. You probably find yourself noticing the way you used to react to situations has changed. Nothing necessarily dramatic, but still, it's different. It's different the way you react as opposed to the way you used to react. You find that you may begin to smile more, and you might even laugh on occasion for no apparent reason. From here, you can easily move into the decision phase. It's here where you realize that you made the right decision. You made the correct moves. It's working. Now it's time to settle into being the new you and moving forward to where you want to be. Finally, you have integration. You're now fully past the change. None of your mind space needs to be devoted to what used to be. That's all in the past. And there are new challenges to conquer. So that is the process. That is the process. You go through the different stages in different ways. We do, because we're all different. Of course, we might want, some will take longer than others to get through different things, different stages, but we all go through it. The key is to understand there is a process. There is a process. And what you're going through is part of that process. That way you don't delude yourself into thinking that that you are the only one that has ever had this happen to them. No, you're participating in the process. One thing to hold on throughout all this whole process is doing your spiritual work. Doing your spiritual work. Forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself. Keep forgiving yourself. You have to forgive yourself until you don't have to forgive yourself anymore. And that could take a while. Remember how we do this now. So first of all, when you're going to do the work of forgiving yourself, you get into a state where you allow your body to relax. You allow your body to relax. So you got to be in a safe space because you want your body to relax. Remember, your body is tuned to protecting you. So you need to be in a space where you are protected. And then, after you are protected, you do the serenity prayer. Give me the wisdom. Give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So next step is to gain some emotional detachment, because you're going to approach this whole system with some level of emotional detachment. It's necessary to have emotional detachment because as you go back over your life, you don't want to get caught up in the emotion of past moments. That takes your energy away. You don't want to get caught up in the emotion of past moments because that'll put you right back into pain and lock you into it. No, be detached. Look at things as if you're looking at a movie. Looking at the incidents of the past as if you're watching a movie about somebody else and seeing what happened there, what they did wrong, what wrong was done to them, but stay emotionally detached. And eventually the emotional energy, the emotional triggers will begin to disappear from those situations. So that's part of the work, is allowing the emotion to be drained from those situations so that you can reclaim your energy and build your power. Okay? And then the next thing you do as you do the reclaiming of your energy is to say the affirmation that will that will help you to forgive yourself. And the words to that are, I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I now know that I was doing the best I could at the time, and I forgive myself. I let myself off the hook because I have learned the lesson that was there, and I now know better. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. And I now accept the peace that passes understanding because I know that I am loved and protected and forgiven by infinite intelligence expressing in me as me. I am forgiven. I am forgiven. I am forgiven. And so that is the work you do every day so that you can clear yourself and you can reclaim the energy, your energy that is locked up in the past incidents, the past memories, the past grudges, the past shames. Reclaim that energy. Reclaim that energy so that you now, as an individual, can move forward to symbolic power, spiritual power, power that you can use to enrich your life and enrich the life of those around you. You see, by forgiving yourself, you give yourself the power. You give yourself the strength to forgive others because you now know that their actions do not diminish you. Forgiving yourself returns you to a state of wholeness. Forgiving yourself returns you to a state of wholeness. Remember, as Eleanor Roosevelt said, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And so, that's it for today. I hope it helps to know that there's a process involved here, a natural process that we all go through in getting through the work we do in self-forgiving. Because when you forgive yourself, you create a space for something new to come in. But before something new comes in, you got to go through the grief of loss because you push something away from you. You let it go. And now there's a hole. So forgive yourself. Forgive yourself, go through the process, and get stronger as you do, more resilient as you do. For you are a child of God. You are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. Let us close with prayer. Thank you. Thank you, infinite intelligence. Thank you for bringing us here to this place where we you memorize things and then sometimes they just go away from you. Thank you, infinite intelligence. Thank you for bringing us together in this life so that we may become spiritual warriors and join in the work we have come here to do. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship to life and infinite intelligence. Thank you for showing us who we really are. We open our minds and hearts to the truth of our being. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we are beginning to understand our value to the continuity of life on this planet. And as we become channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives more and more. We know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we are now restoring our connection through the grace of forgiveness, knowing that as we learn to forgive ourselves for the pain that we have caused to ourselves, and as we learn to forgive those who have inflicted pain upon us, our connections will grow stronger, and our lives will grow happier and healthier and more prosperous. And for this, we are truly grateful. As above, so below, as within, so without, and so it is. Amen. So thank you. Thank you for watching and spending some time with me. And I hope to see you again tomorrow. Remember, I would love to see your comments, questions, and thoughts in the chat box on the right or in the comment section below. Please click on the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. In the meantime, I am Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this has been On the Wings of Your Mind.